Okay, this is, yeah, technical difficulties. What is going on here? Alright, I'll be right back. This is so weird. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, guys. What is going on here? Can you at least hear me? While for some reason my webcam isn't working for some reason. Alright, you can hear me. That's good. Alright, hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is really weird. Not sure exactly why why my webcam isn't working. This is something completely new. Let me give it one more go at it. Let me give it one more go at it, and if not, then we'll just roll with it. What's up, NR 2055 CB? Yeah, we'll talk about the race in just a moment once I figure out what's going on with my webcam. Jones for real is goated indeed. Okay, here we go. This should be it. Yes! There we go. Finally. Finally, we're here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. What do y'all think of the NASCAR on TNT ticker? I mean, it's pretty much what the same ticker is for the Max on cam. So I had an idea what it was going to be like. So I thought it was okay. Obviously, some of the glitches were a little bit of a problem. Like there were some guys that were like a lap down. They were like 7th or 8th. I'm like, what? And then like the normals were weird. We'll talk about more about TNT in just a moment. What do y'all, Ty Dillon beating Hamlin ruined 96 bracket. Oh my god, but don't get me started. Don't get me started on the bracket, bro. Race is a 300 out of 10 from Tony Meows, and Jones for real goated. Jones is a... I think I had Chastain advancing over Jones. I mean, we'll take a look at the results here and see the bracket, but yeah, let's just talk about it. So, as you can see right here, you can see on the screen, I had Denny Hamlin winning the whole challenge. I was like, man, Denny's on a good wave of momentum. You know, I think he can keep it up. I think he's the top guy in the sport right now, and I think he was just going to click it and click it and click it. He clicked it all right. He clicked it into the wall, and then he was out of the race. And then the one seed gets taken out, and then Ty Dillon. Let's just go over my bracket really quick here. And don't think some of y'all are safe here, because I asked some of y'all to show me y'all's brackets, and we're going to dissect those as well. So don't think y'all are safe too, but we're going to go through my suffering first before we make y'all suffer. All right, let's see here. Denny Hamlin and Ty Dillon. Yeah, there's one. Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. I got that right at least. You know what's crazy, man? Kyle Busch, did he get involved in the wreck? Because I'm not sure if he did, because I feel like he was pretty quiet all race long, and he still didn't do anything. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Kyle Busch got involved in any of the wrecks. He was just nowhere. Like, literally nowhere. Especially because he's so good at this Atlanta, I thought he'd be somewhere. But someone let me know, was Kyle Busch involved in any of the wrecks? Bowman or Logano? That's another one wrong. I had Logano over Bowman. So if any of you watched the Daily Downforce short that I made, we posted it yesterday. I pretty much went through all my predictions. Unfortunately, I forgot to put the McDowell and Allmendinger matchup, but I would have taken McDowell over Allmendinger. However, I do believe that Allmendinger ended up finishing ahead of McDowell, so I probably would have been wrong anyway. Good race, had to jump ship to here because race reaction is a war zone right now. Hey, Elite, when is race reaction not a war zone? But that's what makes it fun, man. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, the race reaction channel on the Daily Downforce Discord, we have a bunch of fun over there. That's where I also post my was the race above or below the cut line, which is like my own version of was it a good race poll. Post it over on the Discord, so if you guys want to join in on all the fun, go to the Daily Downforce Discord. I believe there's a link in the description so you guys can come and join the family, join all the fun, or in Elite's case, join the war zone. Let's see here. Elite, right now we're just going over all the my bracket, everything I got right, everything I got wrong. Bubba versus Suarez. I think Bubba finished ahead of Suarez, so I'd have to go back and look at that one. Nemechek versus Barry. That's another one. I think Nemechek finished ahead of Barry. Chase versus Austin Dillon. Obviously, Chase won the race, so I got that right. Chastain versus Eric Jones. I believe Jones finished ahead of Chastain, so that's one wrong. And then Bell versus Stenhouse. I mean, Stenhouse was out there racing for the win. Bell got taken out before the big one. So, in terms of this side, the only one I got correct is Chase Elliott. So, well, Chase, Keselowski I got right. That's pretty much it. Moving over to the other side, Briscoe and Gregson. I think Gregson was ahead of Briscoe. I think Gregson didn't get involved in the big wreck. Priest versus Byron. Priest finished ahead of Byron because Byron got taken out. Blaney, Hocevar. Hocevar advanced because Blaney finished last. Larson, Reddick. I think Reddick finished ahead of Larson, so Larson was out. McDowell, Allmendinger. Again, I think Allmendinger got ahead. Ty Gibbs, Haley. Haley, I got that right. Cindric and Zane Smith. Cindric got taken out. And then Busher, Gilliland. Busher advanced. Todd Gilliland got taken out. So let's see. How many did I get right here? 1, 2, and this is as far as I know. I think that's it. Yeah, because I think Briscoe DNF, Byron DNF, Blaney DNF, Larson just finished in the back, McDowell finished in the back, Ty Gibbs I got right. So that's 3 matchups I got correct. Round of applause for me, everybody. Round of applause. 9 matchups correct. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about the in-season tournament as a whole, but before we do, like I said, y'all ain't safe. So, here at the Daily Downforce Discord, I asked you guys if y'all made any brackets to send them to me to tag me, and then I'll show them here on this episode. So, this here is 3-time champ Joey Logano. Your awful bracket. Well, you had Joey winning it. I wonder why, but in all seriousness, let's see what you got here. So you had Hamlin over Ty Gibbs. That's wrong. You got Keselowski right. You got Logano wrong. Well, obviously you got Logano wrong because you had him winning the whole thing. Bubba over Suarez. I believe you got that right. Barry over Nemechek. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go over my phone real quick here, and I'm going to pull up the results so we can get a better representation on where everyone finished. So this was Nemechek Barry. Nemechek finished 26. Barry finished 32nd, so that's wrong. Dylan, obviously this one was wrong. You had Austin Dillon getting over Chase Elliott? Elite, Raging Knuckles. If y'all are still there, ask our Logano friend why on God's green earth he thought picking Austin Dillon over Chase Elliott was a good idea. Or tell him to come in here and defend himself. Because this puzzles me. This just puzzles me. Because they're both good at super speedways. Elliott won at this Atlanta before. I just can't see the rationale behind this. Unless just Elliott gets involved in a crash and you're hoping Austin Dillon doesn't. Chastain over Eric Jones. Yeah, Chastain finished 33rd, so that was wrong. And then this was wrong as well. So you got Keselowski and Bubba. Because Bubba finished 22nd and Suarez finished 34th. So you got 2 right. 2 right. More than what you're on my level right now in terms of correct picks. Briscoe Gregson. Ooh, okay, so Gregson finished, well, Briscoe finished 35th. Gregson finished 25th. So you got 3 right. So we're already tied. Priest over Byron's. Alright, so your bracket's already better than mine. You have Reddick over Larson. McDowell over Allmendinger. Where did Allmendinger finish? He finished 12th. Okay. Gibbs over Haley. Ty Gibbs finished in... Hold on. Ty Gibbs finished 14th. And Zane Smith... Oh, Zane Smith actually finished ahead of Ty. Oh, wow. Because I didn't know Ty fell that far down the field. Wow. Okay, well, either way, that's wrong for me, too. So that's 2 then I got correct. Cindric over Zane, or excuse me, Ty Gibbs over Justin Haley. So either way, that is correct. I'm all over. It's late, guys. All right, cut me some slack. This was obviously wrong too, and then Busher over Gilliland was correct. So yeah, what 5-6 correct? So again, your bracket, Logano fan, your bracket is better than mine, which that didn't take much because mine just got destroyed in that big crash. But we need to have a dialogue about this Austin Dillon pick right here. We need to have a dialogue. And I believe one more, you guys. Yeah, I showed my bracket here. And then here was... This is... Well, we're just going to say this was T. So T actually has the best shot out of anyone to get this correct because he had Chase Elliott winning the whole thing, and well, he decided to go out and win Atlanta. Logano fan thought Elliott was going to wreck. Yeah, I figured. I'm like, there's no way you think Dillon is actually going to beat Elliott on merit. All right, everyone, let's be honest. Guys, let's be honest. Just answer anyone in the comments and be honest. I'm looking at you eye to eye. Don't lie to me. Did any of you actually have Ty Dillon advancing over Denny Hamlin? Be honest. Because I know I didn't. And the other 2 brackets we just looked at didn't have it either. Busch over Keselowski. First time I saw someone pick Kyle Busch, I thought about it because of how good Busch is at this Atlanta. But Keselowski's too good at super speedways, and Busch has next to no momentum. So that's why I went with Keselowski. So 2 wrong, 3 wrong, 4 wrong. You actually got Nemechek ahead over Josh Berry, so you got 1 right, 2 right, another 1 wrong, another 1 wrong, so you got 2 right, wrong, 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 right, wrong, right, wrong, Right. So yeah, both of y'all's brackets are better than mine. Both of y'all brackets are better than mine. I didn't make a bracket, but I did know Hamlin wasn't good here in the summer. As a Brad fan, I'm depressed. Bryce Sport Production, I'm sorry for you, man. You know, this is what I hate about the NASCAR playoffs. I find with these playoffs, I'm actively rooting against upsets. Because I don't want a guy who's 30th or 29th in points competing for a championship because they shouldn't be doing it in the first place. So I see guys like Brad Keselowski up front. I'm like, yeah, I want Brad to win, you know, get some momentum. But then I'm like, oh wait, he's going to be locked into the playoffs. So then I'm like, okay, do I really want Brad winning now? Like, this is what the playoffs do. The playoffs have actively caused me to root against underdogs. Thanks, NASCAR. Thank you for that. Will in the chat here, 9-car wins it. Let's go. Took him long enough, Will. All jokes aside. Nicholas, let's go. Chase Elliott. The brackets might be broken, but you know what isn't? Chase Elliott winning on his home track. That is true. So there are a couple of y'all brackets that you guys sent me. Thank you guys so much. Pretty much everyone's is broken. Any of you have a 100% bracket? If you don't, you're lying. You're using AI to make a bracket. But all jokes aside, yeah, this is fun. Again, if you guys want to join in the fun and all the discussion and conversation, head over to the Daily Downforce Discord as well. Levi Lipe, sub. What's up, man? He said sub. Speaking of sub, while you guys are at it, make sure you guys like the stream as well. It helps me out a ton. As well as subscribe to the Daily Downforce YouTube channel. That also helps me as well. Great day to be Levi Lipe. I'd hope so, man. Hopefully we have a good NASCAR race tomorrow to call. And it's not just another Hyder domination. But again, go to the Daily Downforce Discord. We have a bunch of fun conversation over there. Race reaction. My favorite channel. Having a great time with the race and stuff. Come join us. Let's actually see where the poll is before we start getting into the conversation. Let's actually see where the poll is for the Cup race in Atlanta. Was it above or below the cut line? So 14 votes in. It is a whopping 86%. Only 2 people voted below. I would love to know, you know, what those guys are thinking, because I voted above. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought that race was... We'll get more to the race weekend rankings later on in terms of like what I genuinely thought about the race. But yeah, I voted above. And if you guys want to vote as well, again, Daily Downforce Discord. Alright, let's cut into this here. And I want to talk about the in-season tournament as a whole. And I'm going to say in-season tournament because my brain cannot get used to saying in-season challenge. Mostly just because, you know, NBA, that's where this thing came from. But not just the NBA. It came from this man right here, Denny Hamlin. Now, Denny, obviously the #1 seed, a lot of momentum on this side, and got taken out early on. So, I saw a lot of controversy, believe it or not, for this in-season tournament coming into the weekend. Some was justified, some wasn't. And I'll kind of break it off into what was justified and what wasn't. And I'll start off with what was justified, and that was just, it felt like the lack of proper promotion or the lack of momentum going into this tournament as a whole. What do I mean by that? So, it really felt like with the TNT broadcast especially, and a couple of the NASCAR stuff as well, that they didn't really promote this in-season tournament as much as I think they should have. So, what am I getting at with this? Like, it felt like there wasn't enough momentum, you know. The first in-season tournament, $1 million on the line, 5 races, brackets out, all that good stuff. It didn't feel like there was so much hype going into this race for the first ever in-season tournament for NASCAR. On that context, I agree. I do agree that there wasn't really a lot of momentum going into this, and that was kind of a shame. Especially with the TNT broadcast, which, side note, I thought TNT's first race was okay. There were a lot of issues, with the ticker, for example. Some of the camera shots they chose was kind of iffy. And the fact that they even thought going to full screen commercial under green was a good idea. No, Did you not see what they did with Amazon? Copy Amazon. Don't copy Fox. We don't want Fox. We want Amazon quality. We do not want Fox quality. I'd say TNT's was kind of in the middle between Fox and Amazon. It wasn't as bad as Fox to where it was a train wreck. The broadcast was still good. Adam Alexander, Dale Jr., Steve Letarte, even the pit reporters all did great. But it wasn't to the highs of Amazon where you're like, wow, this is a quality, a top tier quality broadcast. The broadcast as a whole I thought was okay. Nothing great, nothing special. But some stuff some other things here, like for example, and this is where I'm going to get on. This is where I'm going to get on some people where it comes to just talk about the quality of the in-season tournament as a whole. So here comes Denny Hamlin, who literally came up with the idea for the in-season tournament, saying NASCAR Playoffs 2.0. And what he's getting at here is saying how the in-season tournament is basically a crapshoot. Here's my thing. And I scoured through the comments all over Twitter. And I see people say that, oh, it's not because it's a tournament as a whole. It's because we got a super speedway in here. We got a road course. We got all this stuff. First of all, I just want to throw this out the bat. And Will, if you're still watching this, I'm sorry. But Will and I, we kind of had this conversation a little bit in our one of our personal chats. But I'm going to expand on it. I'm going to talk about the in-season tournament part first. I can't defend Denny Hamlin saying that, oh, why do we have a super speedway opening the in-season tournament, when literally the reason for that wreck was because all of you guys got so aggressive at the beginning of stage 2. You guys had no reason to be that aggressive early on, but you did, and guess what? It caused a multi-car wreck. So I'm not going to blame NASCAR for putting a super speedway as the opener for the in-season tournament. A super speedway, might I add, that compared to Daytona and Talladega, typically doesn't have a bunch of big crashes. Think about it. There are more cars than not running at the finish at Atlanta, 9 times out of 10. This was the first real big one that we've had at this new Atlanta. So I'm not going to go after NASCAR for putting a super speedway in this when it's the driver's fault that wreck happened. I mean, you saw what everyone else did at the end. We had a phenomenal finish. Everyone going back and forth, trading the lead once, twice, even as many as 3 times a lap at the end. Why? Because they weren't being stupid aggressive early on. So, I'm not going to go after NASCAR for this one. I'm going to go after Denny. Because Denny's comment here is ridiculous. Playoffs 2.0. Are the playoffs a crapshoot? Yes, they are. But the in-season tournament, it's supposed to be a fun thing. And as for the playoff comparison, you guys are literally the reason the crash happened. So, just stop. But another thing I want to talk about here, and this has been griping me a little bit again, and Will, if you're listening to this, we'll probably have a conversation about this tomorrow morning. I am getting fed up about this idea about, oh, we can't have super speedways in our tournament or playoffs. We can't have road courses in our tournaments or playoffs because they're just too much. They're crapshoots. They're too random. First of all, that is, in my opinion, a discredit to guys who are good at super speedways and good at road courses. Now, are super speedways very chaotic? Yes. If you watch this race, you would see that. But I've been saying this for a few years now. The problem with advertising super speedways and road courses that way is you're making it sound like it takes no skill to win one of these things. You're making it seem like a Joe Schmo could go out there, just run laps, and just hope to survive and get a good finish. Really? So why are usually the same guys winning? Or the same guys winning, or the same guys running up front? That's not a coincidence, guys. That's called, you're just good at that style of racing. How I perceive it? I perceive that as a different style of racing. I actually was probably one of the few people that enjoyed the playoff schedule last year because, you know, I'm not one of these guys who wants 5 intermediates and 3 short tracks in my playoffs, because it's like, when we're talking about the playoffs, we're trying to determine who is the champion, aka who was the best all season long. I want who is the best at every style of track. Who can be the best? Who can be the best jack of all trades? I don't want a guy who's only good at mile and a halves. I don't want a guy who's only good at short tracks to win the title. Because, like, okay, you're good at mile and a halves. You're good at short tracks. What about the other 12 races? What about the other third of the schedule? You run dead last in those. You run dead last in a third of the schedule, but we should award you the title because, oh, you're good at 1 or 2 different disciplines of racing. And you might want to say, oh, well, that's because they're chaotic. Short tracks aren't chaotic. Have you not seen Martinsville the past few years? Have you not seen Bristol in the past? Did you not watch Richmond last year? So, short tracks are chaotic too. And if I really want to get nitpicky, Texas is a mile and a half, and that place is pretty chaotic. Kansas is the record holder for the closest finish in NASCAR history. That's pretty chaotic. So, where am I getting at with this little rant, if you will? What I'm getting at is, I really don't like when the community tries to discredit a certain form of racing. Because, again, if it's as simple as you make it out to be, I go after the community. You guys know I will go after you guys. Especially when it comes to things that I believe are just silly. Like, when I see the takes out there that say that, oh, just go out there and win. Okay, if it's as simple as that, you go and do it. You try it. But this idea of cherry picking which style is better than the other, or which style should be accommodated over the other, in my opinion, is just, I don't like that. It's silly. Like, come on. And especially it's rich coming from Denny Hamlin, because again, Denny, you created the idea for the tournament. So, you don't get the right to go out and basically start criticizing your creation. And I'll pull out the tweet again real quick. It's like, I know he's probably going to talk about it on this podcast on Monday, but it's like, you created this tournament. So, and now you're all of a sudden just attacking it. It'd be different if Denny was like, yeah, you know, maybe we should have a super speedway, but overall, you know, this or that. But when Denny's coming out like this, saying, NASCAR Playoffs 2.0, Denny, this was your idea. And I don't want to hear the whole super speedway argument when, again, it was the driver's fault that we had such a big crash. So, I'm not buying that. Not at all. Evan PS4 Let's Play. Sammy Smith should have won Martinsville. Honestly, Taylor Gray should have won Martinsville, in my opinion. Peak Racing Association. How Ziggy and Zaggy is everyone feeling today? Well, if you were listening to the TNT broadcast with all the zigs and the zags and the blahs and the blahs, pretty Ziggy and Zaggy. Nicholas, Denny Hamlin makes an idea and now he doesn't like it. Really, Denny? Come on, dude. I mean, I know Denny's going to add more context through actions detrimental. So, I mean, I'm just reacting to what I see here. Now, when he adds more context, you know, then we got new information. And then I'd be able to change my opinion on his take right here. But at least off of this, it just comes off as, I mean, Justin Champagne down here says it best. Weren't you the one who came up with the tournament idea? Exactly. So it's kind of rich hearing it from the creator. You know what I mean? Raging Knuckles, the seating was really strange though. I agree though. Before they had that 3-race seating, like, stretch, I thought they were just going to go off the top 32 in points. Whoever was first in points and 32nd in points. That's what I thought they were going to do. And then they announced, oh no, we're going to do a seeding, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I'm like, okay, but you guys barely covered that part of it anyway. Why not just do the point leader to 32nd? And then second to 31st and just go on from there. So I agree, Raging. Yeah, that was just wild. All right, next one I want to talk about real quick here is Corey Heim. And I really want to touch on this because he had a dominant win this afternoon over at Lime Rock. I'm going to go after Denny again. All right, Denny, if you ever decide to watch this, I love you. One of the greatest personalities in NASCAR. Keep going, by the way, Denny. I don't want you to stop going like this because I like when we have personalities, and I don't try to bring down the personalities, even if it's something I don't like. But I'm going to go after Denny again. If Denny Hamlin has any sense, he will put Corey Heim in the 35 next year. And he will make Riley Herbst, hey, thanks for buying the charter, man. Thanks for keeping Heim's seat warm, but you got to go, bro. You got to go. It's that simple. Now, especially if you're part of the Daily Downforce Discord, you know that I am very, very critical of Riley Herbst. I don't think he's a Cup guy. I'm just going to be blunt. I don't think Riley Herbst is a Cup guy. I never thought he was a Cup guy. I thought him going to the 35 was one of the biggest mistakes Denny Hamlin could have made as an owner because, yes, Herbst brings the money. But how much money is he really going to bring to where, again, I don't really know that much about the finances of racing, so, but, again, someone correct me if I'm wrong. But just from an outsider, I imagine that if, and maybe it's because of the lawsuit and they just need a little more cash again, I don't know. I'm just going off of the information that I have. But if you are a team owner who has Michael Jordan backing you, again, Michael Jordan signs a lot of the checks. Remember, when 2311 was first announced with Bubba Wallace in the 23 4 years ago, they sold out sponsorship for a year. Now, this was with the Gen 6 car. They were going to the next gen, different car, different era. But, and I know Riley Herbst brings a lot of money, but there is no one on this planet that can convince me that Riley Herbst should be in that 35 over Corey Heim. Corey Heim just won his 5th race of the year. The trucks have run 15 races, guys. Heim has won 33% of them, and he probably should have won more. Homestead is an example. Martinsville is an example. There's so many races that Heim should have won this year, and he still won 33% of the races. And I've heard people say, well, Heim needs to go to Xfinity first before he goes to Cup. Why? The Xfinity car runs nothing like the Cup car. In fact, they're basically two completely different disciplines of racing. So why would Heim waste his time learning a completely different car that's not going to translate pretty much at all to the Cup car? Matter of fact, the truck is actually more aligned with the Cup car than the Xfinity car. So because of that, Heim arguably is in a better position. Do what Hocevar did. Go straight from truck to Cup. It's that simple. But you got a guy like Corey Heim, who 5 wins, over 144 point lead, and it's clear to everyone watching that this guy does not need to be in trucks anymore. This guy knows what he's doing. And I already said there's nothing he can gain from going to the Xfinity Series, so the next opportunity should be a Cup ride. So, how are you going to tell me that Riley Herbst should be ahead of Corey Heim? Look what Herbst has done this year. He's second to last in points, guys, in a 2311 car. Look who he's behind. Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, Noah Gragson. We're talking about Brad Keselowski's had a bad year. Riley Herbst is 35th. He's the same. He's where in the standings. He's where this number is. And I get, he's a rookie. He's learning this or that. At some point, I get you're a rookie. I'd accept this if you were a rookie in a Haas factory car. I'd accept this if you were a rookie in a Cutline car. Even a front row car to an extent. and at the minimum, a Spire card. Not a 2311 card. Not when your teammates are 7th in points and 12th in points. And you're all the way down here in 35th. And let's take a look at Corey Heim. 5 wins. Again, a third of the season. He's led almost 1,000 laps on the year, guys. And we still have like 8 races to go. Look at the point differential between him and Chandler Smith. Heim is in another zip code compared to all these guys. He doesn't need to be in the series anymore. But Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan are wasting their time with a guy who's 35th in points. Guys, the only one he's ahead of is Cody Ware. Cody Ware. That is it. And it's really not even close. Custer is a good chunk ahead of Herbst right now. So, why is... I get it. It's the money. It's all that. Like Nicholas says here, it's about sponsorship nowadays. You need to have it. But here's my thing. Isn't this Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan is a billionaire. This man, I think Michael Jordan can buy out the Herbst family 3 or 4 times. So, you're really going to tell me Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, and Toyota can't scrape together some cash to put him in that 35 car? Because let me tell you, if I'm Corey Heim and they try convincing me to stay in trucks for another year, I'm telling them, look, if you don't give me a ride next year, I'm shopping. I'm going somewhere else. And can you blame him? Look what he's done. Folks, he has more wins than Matt Crafton in like 300 less starts. Corey Heim is ready for a cup car. It's time. When he's in a cup car on a part-time schedule, guess who he's outrunning? Riley Herbst. Herbst is not a cup guy. He never was a cup guy. Just because you win 2 or 3 Xfinity races throughout your career, not even a season, that doesn't mean you're a cup guy. So, Denny, again, maybe the finances, all that stuff, I don't know, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. A Michael Jordan-owned team. Michael Jordan's a billionaire. Toyota, they can't scrape together something to get Corey Heim in that 35 car instead of Riley Herbst. Herbst will be fine. He'll probably go run one of those extra Rick Ware cars because they are planning on expanding because they got a new owner. But it's time. Heim time is now. If Corey Heim isn't in a cup car next year, Toyota is seriously risking losing one of the best prospects they've ever had. Me personally. Alright, let's move on to race weekend rankings. Atlanta, I know it's like really Atlanta / Lime Rock, but you know, Atlanta race weekend rankings here. If you guys want to follow along as well, we got the links in the description so you can follow, or you can fill out your race weekend rankings tier. Let's tag us on Daily Downforce. You know, whether it's on the Daily Downforce Discord, or on social media, tag us on there, and then we'll share it. This one is pretty easy. I'm going to put the truck race at number 3. While yes, Heim dominated, he led all but 1 lap. Other than that, though, throughout the field, not much really happened. It was pretty strung out for the most part. He had a couple spins here and there, but other than that, it was just Heim domination. Nothing really to be said after that. That's the best way I can describe it. He led all but 1 lap. Nothing really to say. Number 2, we're going to go with the Xfinity race at Atlanta. I'll be honest, Xfinity at Atlanta sucks. Like, the next gen at Atlanta is phenomenal. The Xfinity series, I don't know if it's the car, they can't generate the runs that they need, but a lot of times, it feels like Xfinity at Atlanta is like what the current Cup car is at Daytona Talladega. They're just stagnant. So, yeah, I know Nick Sanchez got the win. Very cool, very good story. It was a long time coming, but the race as a whole was just, Like I said, Xfinity at this Atlanta isn't really good a lot of times. And then the Cup race, easily number one of the best races of the year, in contention for the best race of the year, in my opinion. Just phenomenal. You had action throughout the pack. You had, if you wanted your spectacle, you had that. If you wanted side-by-side action, you had that. If you wanted lead changes, you had that. I know people are upset. Oh, I miss old Atlanta. I want the worn-out surface. We turned it into a super speedway. Guys, we're near 40s, all right? Just stop complaining. This is what we got now. What would you rather have? Would you rather have what we have tonight? Or would you rather have a single-file, boring snooze fest? Because people need to understand, Atlanta was going to get repaved no matter what. The track was literally falling apart. So we can't act like, oh, I miss old Atlanta. Look what they took from us. Guys, if Atlanta still had the old surface right now, I think the track would literally be coming off into actual physical pieces. It was going to happen. So what would you rather have? Regular paved Atlanta and the racing sucks for the next 5-7 years, or a unique style of super speedway racing? I'll take this 10 times out of 10. So, guys, stop complaining about old Atlanta. We were never going to get an old Atlanta with this next gen. It's time to move on, and this is phenomenal. Like, just, what we have is good. So, let's stop complaining about something we have that's good. Which nowadays in NASCAR, we don't have a lot of that. So, let's stop complaining when we actually have something that's good. Moving on to the race weekend rankings tier. I'm going to put Lime Rock at the top of D tier. Just, yeah, it was just a nothing burger. Absolutely nothing. Atlanta for Xfinity, I'll put it somewhere in the C tier. Like, I'll put it somewhere there. And then Cup, honestly, you know what? I'm going to put it at the top of S tier. We got our 4th S tier race of the year. I was very tempted to leave it at the top of A tier because, you know, you guys know, if you guys are long-time listeners, I'm not a big fan of, you know, Crash Fest or Caution Fest because it just makes everyone look silly and sloppy. And we did have that, especially after the big wreck. We had a lot of guys spinning, a lot of guys just, you know, losing their minds. So I'm thinking, okay, here we go. It's going to be another caution, then another caution, then another caution. But after that, the racing was immaculate. Like, this race was phenomenal. Like, it just, this track really gets better and better race after race. I remember the first race on this surface, the racing was terrible. Awful, boring. Everyone thought it was going to be a disaster. But every race after that, it gets better and better and better. And every time I think, man, Atlanta can't get better, boom, it tops itself. Man, we can't get a better finish than that. Boom, it tops itself. So, guys, we were getting upwards of 3 lead changes a lap. 3 lead changes a lap. And handling mattered. You got tight. You got loose. You had to know where to position your car. Beautiful. Phenomenal. S tier race, in my opinion. Do I want to put it? I'm going to put it over Coda. I'll put it over Coda. I remember Coda was on top pretty much by itself for a good chunk of the season, but man, some of these races, we had a couple bangers these past few weeks. We did. So there we go. That is the 2025 race weekend ranking season so far. And 4 S tiers, couple A's. Everything's mostly in B or C, and then a few in the F tier, but not as many F tier and D tier races as I thought maybe we would have this year. But hey, I'm not complaining there. Raging Knuckles Atlanta needed the repave. Unfortunately, the racing would have sucked if it was just repave. At least it's better than what Talladega has turned into. I agree. Nicholas said Corey should be in that 35 car next year. I don't understand why Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan are wasting their time with Riley. I heard a rumor that they were going to retain the driver lineup next year, and here's my thing about Herbst. Even if Riley gets better, which I would hope he would get better from second to last, assuming he doesn't have a sophomore slump, which in that case, what is that? He's worse than Cody Ware. Does any of you actually envision Riley Herbst ever A, winning a race, or B, being good enough to point his way into the playoffs. I don't see that. So, if I can't see anything in the future where, okay, you improve, but I don't see you improving to the point where you're a playoff contender, why are you in the car? So that's my thing. I can see Han doing that easily. I don't see that for Herbst in the future anytime soon. So that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. I got a pretty late edition. We are actually past midnight now, so I'm tired. I'm probably gonna end up going to bed. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, next week is Chicago. That should be a fun one as well. What's the over-under on if there's actually going to be rain in Chicago this year? So, someone find that in the comments. I'm pretty sure Vegas has that out as well. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, if you guys want to continue staying on, please like this stream and subscribe as well. That helps me out a ton. Check out dailydownforce.com for all sorts of great content over there. We got articles, mini games, you name it, more content creators. Go check us out over there. Make sure to follow us on our social medias, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. That's going to do it for us, folks. We'll see you next week for Chicago. Let's wave the checker flag. This is the Cutline. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yep, we'll see you for Chicago.